Men want children like children want pets. I saw that on TikTok and the accuracy blew my.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So, in today's topic, we'll be talking about why men want children in the same way kids want pets. Stick with me because this analogy is going to hit home for a lot of you. It's not about bashing anyone, but rather about exploring a mindset that some people might not even realize they have. So, I'll put the videos together so that you watch and learn. I'll be back to share my true sense what I think about today's video.
Men want children like children want pets. I saw that on TikTok and the accuracy blew my mind. Now, before the men start, it's not all men, but it's a lot of men, and it's a lot of men that think it's not them as well. So, a lot of men see fatherhood in the sense of it's something, their legacy, something that belongs to them, something that they, are proud of, are loving of. But then when it comes to the core labor, the mental load, they approach it in the way that young children approach having pets. They don't think about what needs to be done on a day to day basis. They don't think about the daily effort it takes to keep that thing alive well. They don't think about the strain, the mental load that the person who's looking after the pet on a day to day, on a more intricate basis, is under, has to think about, has to consider. When children see pets, they just see all the fun side of it, the cute side, the, oh, good you go, my pet. Whereas anyone who's owned a pet knows there's so much labor that goes into it. There's so much thought that goes into it. There's so much cost that can go into it. And I'm not saying that men don't pay for their kids. A lot of men do pay for their kids, but a lot of men don't. A lot of men have the mentality like children do with pets, that if for any reason something's not going wrong, they can just discard their children. They can walk out of their children's life. I can't tell you how many men have said, oh, they don't see their kids because the kids' mums make it hard. Side note, are you well? Because I don't care what men say. There is no day when a man will say to you he did not collect his salary from work, his money that's owed to him, because someone is making it hard for him. By hell or by high fire, that man's find a way to get that money. Use that same energy for your children. Men will tell you they're not looking after their kid because they didn't want the kid and it was the woman's choice to push out the baby. First of all, kids are conceived from sex. I don't know where this narrative is coming from. Once you have put your penis into a woman and ejaculated, you are consenting to have a child. If you do not want that, celibacy is an option. That is where your choice and your decision in the matter comes in. So stop acting like you don't have a choice. Celibacy is a choice. It has been a choice since the dawn of day. You are not exempt from responsibility because when you made the bad decision, it's now not in your hands to reverse it. Because shall I tell you what has a zero risk? Not having the sex. But anyway, I digress, as I often do. But men will say, it wasn't their choice, so they don't have to look after their child. I promise you now, if you tried to give a man 100K that he didn't earn, he wouldn't say, I didn't work for this. I don't want to take it. Hand out. But aside from a scolding of the men, this is a gentle reminder to women that the load for children will fall on your lap inevitably. Even if you have the most supportive partner, the genetic components that are on you as a woman will mean that you will carry, at least for the early years, the bulk of the child rearing. The way that society has been set up for mothers to be the primary caretaker will mean that you will carry the bulk of the child rearing. I still to this day do not understand why fathers get 2 weeks paternity leave. Who is supposed to take care of the child after that? Like, what? There's this assumption of society that the burden of child rearing should fall on the mother, which I don't agree with. And everyone knows, I always say, baby, if I get with a man, I mean, I'm with a man, my husband, but in an alternative reality, if I got with a man and we had a baby and me and that man are not together, he's going to be the primary caretaker. I don't care what anyone says. If there is nothing wrong with being a non custodial parent, because men do it all the time, that's fine. That's the lane I want to be in. And to be honest, I encourage more women to do this. I encourage more women to allow men to feel the burden of child rearing because then maybe they would be less dismissive about how heavy that load is. I read the other day a Reddit about a man who was with his wife and she was the primary breadwinner. He did not work. And he was getting annoyed that she was calling him a house husband and, praising him for being her house husband and, taking care of things in the house. And he was really irritated by it. And it made me realize just how little value men put on housewives and mothers and stay at home mothers and wives. And I think the reason they put so little value on it is because they don't and cannot relate to that experience because they don't have to do that work on a day to day. And looking at it from the outside in, it probably seems easier than it actually is because to them, making money is the work. Which, yes, that is work. And I completely, salute men who go out and make money for their families. But I would argue that the harder work is raising children, especially when you have multiple. And a lot of women do that and still work and still carry the majority of the domestic burden. So, all of that to say, women, before you have children, think about it. Think about if this is what you really want. Think about if you're wanting and willing and ready to do the amount of work it takes to be a mother. I think this is a conversation that we do not have enough. We, as in my case, the older generation, but also as people who are already mothers who have gone through the experience, need to speak on more on the burdens and challenges of motherhood because I think motherhood has been so successfully marketed into this like Disney princess fairy tale. And in reality, it's quite the opposite. It's such hard work, often with, in this baby mama culture at least, very little support from the father of the child or children. So think for yourself. Don't let anyone think for you. Don't let the judgment of men control the decision that you make for your life, especially an irreversible decision like motherhood. And also, don't ever think you can use a child to trap a man because, baby, the only person you will trap is yourself. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule for best results. Assume it's not you. Mwah.
So that's a video, guys. I'm just here to share my true sense, like what I think about today's video. Okay. So why some men they act like men wants children like children want some pet. So there's the truth behind this. When a child asks for a pet, what's the first thing they think about? It's all this funny stuff, right? Playing with a puppy, cuddling with a kitten, showing them off to their friends. There is no thought about the responsibility of feeding them, taking them to the vet, cleaning up after them, or training them. It's all exciting, no planning. Now think about how some men talk about wanting kids. They imagine the fun of tossing a football with their son, the pride of seeing a mini vision of themselves running around, or the joy of hearing dad. It's about the highlights, the Instagram worthy moments, not necessarily sleepless nights, the messy diapers, or the emotional labor involved in raising a well rounded human being. This mindset is not exclusive to men, of course. Plenty of people romanticizing parenting, but for some men, the desire for children can seem detached from the realities of what being a parent truly means. Okay, so there's also the fantasy versus the reality. Just like a child who doesn't understand what's on a page. Okay, there is often a gap between the fantasy and the reality. Kids think pets will magically entertain themselves. Similarly, some men assume that children will just grow up, behave, thrive without much effort. But here's the thing: kids like pets require constant attention, nurturing, and caring. A dog doesn't walk itself, and the child doesn't raise themselves. Parenting is 24/7 job. It's emotional, physical, and mental labor. Yet in many households, the bulk of the work often falls to the women. So when a man says he wants children, the question becomes, does he want to be a parent or to parent them, or does he just like the idea of having kids? Let's unpack where the mindset might come from. Culturally, men have been conditioned to see fatherhood as a milestone that's more about legacy than achievement involved. It's about passing on their name, teaching a son to be like them, or having daughter who adores her dad. But what happens when the novice of wear off? When the cute babe stage turns into temper, tantrums, sleepless night, and homework battles. Unfortunately, this is where the reality sets in, and many men either step up or step back. And if they step back, guess who usually ends up carrying the load? This dynamic can create a reset in the relationship. Women feel unsupported, while men may feel unappreciated for what they do, contribute. It's a various or vicious cycle that start with unrealistic expectations about what it means to have kids. So breaking the cycles, how do we break this cycle? It starts with a honest conversation before having kids. Men need to be encouraged to think beyond the fun parts of the parenting and ask themselves some hard questions. Are they ready to change diapers, miss a sleep, and be emotionally available? Are they prepared to share the mental load of planning, organizing, and nurturing? And let's summarize talking about parenting as a parentship partnership both men and women should go into, understanding that it's not a one person job. Raising a child takes a long term effort, and both partners need to commit their roles. At the end of the day, guys, wanting kids is beautiful, but it's also a huge responsibility. Men who want a children need to approach it with the same level of commitment and preparation they would for any major life decision. This of it, this is why if you wouldn't get a pet without knowing how to care for it, why would you bring a child into the world without being ready to parent them fully? Okay, so those are the questions, guys. Yeah, so we have talked about these guys. Okay, so men wants children for some selfish reasons, of course. Because I've come across women who complain that this man doesn't even care about their kids. Like it's anyone can be. Okay, take your time and think about it properly. So when a man wants a child with you, please check that person. Is he ready to be a dad? Because not everyone can be a dad. Okay, because some men are not even present to their children's life. They've never even seen them and they're here just existing, okay? They don't even feel the guilty. So there's this woman who found a man on the online dating apps and they were talking. They were just in good terms. This man decided to come to our country and meet and vibed. So they vibed so well. This is when the man went back without her because I hear you have to do the paperwork and all that. And later found out that this person is pregnant. Okay, so what are you going to do? Because it's a long distance and all that. You just have to wait, okay? Wait until they give you because you can't move without your visa. You need your visa. Yeah. So you guys, you have to take good care of yourself. This is number one because if you yeah, you're supposed to do that. Yeah, so if you're looking for a partner, guys, make sure you note down, like I've been always singing the songs, note down the type of a partner you want, and always drink a lot of water, which is very important. Yeah, so I don't know, you guys, what you think about today's video. Have you ever been in such experience, or maybe it's the first time here, and how so you need a man who's respectful, a man who knows how to communicate, a man who's going to be there for you, okay? Not only being there when they need you. No, it doesn't. So that's the video, guys. I don't know what you think in the comment section. Can you leave a comment? Have you ever experienced this type of thing happening to you? Okay, I know men want kids, but are the kids safe? Okay, that's number one thing because as a parent, you're supposed to be there like every time. Yeah. So, guys, so make sure you take good care of yourself, ladies. In 2025, you're just going to be too personal. You do things on a personal level and you take care of yourself. You have to change the way you look and everything. Okay, because you need to take care of yourselves. All right. So it's a good thing to go out, you walk a little bit, and you feel how here it is and all that. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.